guys, and welcome back to my channel. I did a video recently about how we set up our classical conversations memory work each week in our homeschool. And if you would like to see more about how we make that into our morning time, now is the time to keep watching. If you are new here, hi, my name is Rachel. I have two boys and I homeschool them. They are in kindergarten and second grade. This is our third year of homeschooling, but our first year homeschooling both of them. And it's gone better than I thought it would. It has not been all peaches and roses, or peaches and cream, roses and rainbows, I don't know. They are making a joyful noise downstairs, so please bear with me in that. But I want to talk to you about our morning time that we do. This changes all the time, but there are a couple of things that tend to stay the same. And so behind me you can see, take this off. You can sort of see our little, there we go, our little setup. And I have two of these gray baskets that I bought at Target, and I'm going to go ahead and get them out and just kind of go through and show you what we do for our morning time and how we incorporate classical conversations into that. Okay, here is the box of what we have currently. This changes all the time. But yeah, where to start? Okay. I showed you this in my last video. This is our review board for classical conversations. It has our weekly memory work on there separated by subject. And the reason why I like to do this first thing in the morning is because they are both in foundations, which is the lowest level of classical conversations. Again, they are 8 and 6, second grade and kindergarten. And I love classical conversations because they are learning the same thing at the same time, and they're only 2 years apart. And so I like how it allows me to kind of streamline my homeschool so that they are on the same page with math, Latin, English, science, history, and geography. And while they may be on different levels within those subjects, the review work is the same, okay? So Caleb is in second grade and can zoom through, a worksheet of math facts. Whereas Brayden is still, he's in kindergarten, he's still looking at the pictures of 2 plus 1. He's not doing a full page of math facts. So their abilities are different, but in classical conversations, it goes beyond just 1 plus 1 is 2. We do some skip counting. This week we're doing metric measurements. Last week we did linear equivalents, like 2.54 centimeters equals 1 inch, 12 inches equals 1 foot, etc. And so what I do sometimes, and I need to rewrite this, I got this at the Dollar Tree, and as you can see, it's like a dice whiteboard. And I will roll this, and okay, I guess we're gonna do math first. So that's what we'll do. And we will do our skip counting or whatever it is that we need to review. And then we will do our Latin, and I use the little cards that I've made up, I talked about in my last video. And I will also use the CDs, especially if we're in the car. But when we're at home, I will use the app. And this is the Classical Conversations app, and it's $15 for the whole cycle. And for example,
weeks 1 and 2, 13 and 14. OST, mustis and OST, mustis and OST. Must is empty, first conjugation, present tense.
And so I can choose the week, the subject, whatever, and have the person read it. There are some where I don't feel like I need to do that, but I like them to sing with the app or with the CD. The same thing that's on the CD is on the app, except the timeline song is not on the app. And we'll get to that in a minute. So we'll run through the Latin, we will run through the science, and that's where library books come in. Oh, and I have this basket. This is what we have currently checked out from the library. And let's talk about science. This week we did States of Matter. Clear out some space here on the table. So I got this book, What is a Gas? What is liquid? And what is a solid? And so I got those for science. Oh, and I got this one also, states of matter in the real world. And outside of that, we've done like looking at ice melting into water, heating it up, turning it into steam, etc. And so we've done that. And English, oh, this really depends on the level and what we're doing. Like we've done songs that teach them different parts of speech, like reflexive pronouns. We sang that to the tune of Frosty the Snowman, so we learned that. But I don't really have any, especially at their age, I don't have any like real worksheets or anything. I mean, I could go online and print some, but also I have another curriculum that I use for Caleb's language arts. He's in 2nd grade. It's called First Language Lessons. I've talked about it before. And that actually goes along almost perfectly with what we learn in classical conversations. So we go through the English, the science, the English, the history. History is important. There is a history sentence every... You know what? I'm going to get a copyright. I'm going to get a copyright strike, so I'm not going to play that for you. But basically, it is I can tell you the actual sentence. Okay, one is, tell me about the Black Plague. During the 100 Years' War, Joan of Arc and King Charles II led the French to defeat the English at the Siege of Orleans. In the late 1300s, in the mid 1300s, fleas on rats carried the plague which killed 1 out of 3 Europeans. So that's set to a song that I had to really hold myself back from singing, but they will memorize that. They will memorize 24 history sentences in a year. And so along with the history, that's where I have fun because I love history. I love it so much. So I will get some books. I just thought of that one. That was from earlier last semester. Our current sentence, tell me about World War I leaders. Clemenceau of France, Lloyd George of England, Nicholas II of Russia, Wilhelm II of Germany, and Wilson of the United States were leaders during World War I, which started in 1914 and ended in 1918. I memorized it. Okay. I got books from the library, World War I, and I try to get these all out of the kids section. Sometimes I'll go the adult section and get some stuff for me just to learn, but I like these Discovery Kids books because they have all of the big pictures. And I also try to find some documentaries on Amazon Prime or Netflix or whatever. And so, yeah. So I was looking through those with the boys, and we keep it very much like they don't need to know all the details, but especially being in 2nd grade and kindergarten, but I try to give them kind of an overview, and I try to help them see what is important. I try to help them see where things fit in. An example, okay? Caleb and I were learning about the Titanic toward the end of last semester. He got really into it. So I found some very kid-friendly documentaries about the Titanic for him. And I said, this was in 1912. This was a little over 100 years ago when the Titanic sank. And so when I started talking about World War I the other day, 1914, I said, this was just 2 years after the Titanic sank. And so that gave him just, oh, well, that makes sense. It kind of gave him some, like a reference point, if you will. And so, yeah, so I got some books on World War I. And then comes geography. Oh, actually, back to history. I also got this book, and we're reading this. Who was Woodrow Wilson? I'm sorry to anyone else who lives in our town, but I clean out the library of what we're talking about, so... You know, you snooze, you lose. But in geography, we have these trivium tables that we got from Classical Conversations. And here, I have 2 of them, but I'll just show you one. But it shows each week what the geography is and which countries or bodies of water or whatever they have to learn each week. So there's this map right here. Right here, this is for cycle 2 when they're learning Europe. And then if I open this, this is blank. And so once we have learned the countries, I get these wet erase markers out, and I will have them like draw a heart on France, or draw a happy face on Italy, or whatever. You know, I'll tell them a country and have them draw it. Sometimes I'll have them outline it, and they really, really enjoy this. I have had them put a marshmallow on the country they're supposed to learn. And we've done cities, we've done mountain ranges, we've done rivers, seas, oceans, obviously. And then there's this world map, and then this world map. You see? So there you go. And this is not marked. I'm sorry. This is not marked, so that they can draw on that. This is awesome for the car, because they can look at this and learn in the car. Last week we did, the countries we did were Belarus, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Poland. And I was able to get a book about Estonia, Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia. I kind of wish we had more time to spend on these, because like my homeschool brain, like I want to like spend a week on a country. And I could do that, but like spend a whole week or even 2 weeks on a country, and we, you know, I'll find the food at Meijer. Maybe one of these days I'll do that, or during the summer or something. But they seem to like this. Also, we have another motivation because we have the Olympics coming. And I don't know about you, I'm obsessed with the Olympics, especially the Summer Olympics. And I love the flag procession, because I've been thinking about teaching them more of the flags, so that when the people march in, they're like, hey, I've heard of that country, or hey, I recognize that flag. So that is our geography from our morning time. That's all of our CC for morning time. And I also have like these, they're somewhere back here, like these placemat size maps, but I tend to stick with the trivium tables. I have a couple other books that I alternate. Where's this one? This is a really good one. It's called I Heard Good News Today, and it's very short stories about how the gospel was delivered all over the world, and it goes in, it's split up into parts of the world, and then within parts of the world split up into like a timeline. So let's see, let's go to the good news in China. And it starts with an answer to prayer, Hudson Taylor, 1832, Bring Them In, Gladys Aylward, around 1925, Gladys Aylward, 1939. And yeah, so it goes in order, and it's really neat. I have enjoyed this book. I've read a lot of it myself. And Unveiling Glory, I guess, unveilingglory.com. We got this at the homeschool convention a long time ago. Another one was a gift from my dad, and it's called What Every Child Should Know About Prayer by Nancy Guthrie, and this is really good. It's like 2 pages each day to teach your kids something about prayer. So that's great. Another thing is a series that I talked about a couple of years ago called The Etiquette Factory, and we bought the whole like level 1 with the DVDs and the activities and stuff. And we didn't do all of it, but we found that we loved the most these little books written by Monica Irvine. She is the founder of Etiquette Factory. We've heard her speak at the homeschool convention several times. And they're these sweet stories about, you know, what to say, how to say it, you know, how to act in certain situations. And they're very simple. But my kids, they just love them. And I think it's a pack of 12 books, I want to say. And I just kind of throw different ones in from time to time. This was a gift. These are, it says Talking Words Factory flashcards. And it really just gives you the beginning and end of a word so you can learn blends and how they fit together. So a lot of CVC words in this. And I like it. I like it mostly for Braden. Caleb reads better than this, so we don't really mess with this with him. This is something that I picked up at Half Price Books for $8.99, and we haven't dug into it yet because we are doing Latin through Classical Conversations. But I put it in here just maybe one day I'll pull it out. But it's called English from the Roots Up. And I was so excited to get this because when my family first started homeschooling in 1993, when I was in 7th grade, my mom bought English from the Roots Up. And it basically, it's the green cards are Greek, the red cards are Latin, and it tells you like what photos means, and it gives you some, it gives you definitions on the back and some activities. So I haven't started those. I've put them in. We'll see what happens. And then I have stuff like my pointers in my morning basket. I have a ruler. I have my pens, my pencils. I have an American flag. I usually have, well, that's scary. I usually have my tin whistle in there. I don't know where it is. Okay, well, I need to look for that. My tin whistle to practice with Classical Conversations. I have a little clock in here to practice telling time. But I know this looks like a lot, but I don't necessarily go through all of this every day. The Classical Conversations, yes, we do that every day. We do it a little bit differently every day. But like I always say, if we get Classical Conversations and some reading and math done, we're good to go for the day. And one thing I like about CC is that it covers all of these subjects for both of my boys at the same time. I mean, time saver, stress saver, it just helps tremendously. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. It's kind of long, but I feel like really thorough, and maybe showing you, if you do Classical Conversations or if you don't, how you can make this whole thing fit into your morning time, and it doesn't feel like an extra thing that you have to do on top of your possibly long school day. So hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, be sure to give me a thumbs up, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.